Good evening, everybody. Thank you guys all for coming here in Dallas, Texas. Dallas is a city that has been on the rise a lot for the last 20 years or so, or even actually more than that, but it's accelerated, I would say, a lot post 2008. And a lot of that is driven by businesses relocating, particularly outside of Southern California. Like a lot of the Fortune 500 companies outside of entertainment and media that used to be based in Southern California have at least moved their headquarters on paper, if not in practice, to Texas. And Dallas is now the main spot for that. And it's not just companies that are moving to Dallas. A lot of people are moving to Dallas. The Metroplex is growing a lot. It's now the fourth biggest metropolitan area in the United States. It's likely going to pass Chicago by the end of this decade, the third biggest metropolitan area of the United States. And one of the things that drives people to move here is lower taxes and lower cost of living. But the question really I'm going to entertain on this speech is that, does that make sense? Is it worth moving to a city just because of a lower cost of living? The answer is not as straightforward as you think. The first thing is it depends on where you're from. There are certain cities where there are high cost of living and relatively low quality of life, mostly in the Northeast and the upper Midwest. But there are other places where you have high cost of living and higher quality of life, such as South Florida and California. And maybe the math doesn't really make sense in there. But how do we kind of decide what the factors are? Like, what are the real costs of leaving your hometown to going to a place for economic opportunity? There's a few things that we need to kind of consider that are beyond just the obvious, which is what people most superficially think, which are taxes and the cost of housing. First one is family ties and social networks. People generally underestimate the value of their local social networks. This is particularly true if you're a self-employed person. And like, there's simple things such as like having to hire an Uber instead of having your family take you to the airport. Or more advanced things like building a book of business and a client base that likes working with you because you are local. And everything in between. It even goes into like family formation. Like, look, you might save money on buying a house by moving to Dallas, but instead of having your parents be able to help you take care of your kids, you now have to spend $2,000 a month on the daycare. And these implicit costs are not really directly thought of in advance. And also having to make new friends from scratch and loneliness that's inevitable of moving to another city. The second thing is concentration of jobs and clients and business opportunities. Depending on what industry you work in, there are certain cities that make sense if you want to move up the classical career ladder for job hopping. Like if you work in the oil industry, you should live in Houston because there are several, you can move up at your big company you are at Houston, or you can move between jobs among their competing companies without having to relocate and uproot your entire life to another city. Like if you're starting a business in the energy industry, all your prospective clients are in Houston, or your prospective vendors are probably in Houston. And people don't necessarily think of these values. I think that the internet has made it easier for you to just plan things in advance and then fly out and do those meetings. But nevertheless, there is a value to industry network effects. And so if you take a job there, you're going to end up working under market because there are no other firms in the city that can outcompete. You have a choice of either taking under market and living in this city, or you have to uproot your life and move at least with 500 miles, more likely 1,000 miles away. And so that's kind of one of the downsides of taking a job that it's the only job and the only company in that field in an entire metropolitan area, because you could basically be stuck or have to just move again. The other thing is also quality of life. I live in California, but I live in a city called Newport Beach, which is a very high quality of life. Weather is never too hot or never too cold. Like there's traffic, if you're going on freeway or rush hour, is very limited. There's easy parking everywhere. There's a lot of outdoor activities. You can live a very comfortable life. Whereas if you move to a lower cost of living things, you might have to deal with inclement weather. You might have to deal with more traffic. You might have to deal with more visible pearl drift. You might have to deal with a lot of other things that you don't necessarily think about when you just look at a spreadsheet analysis of it. And some people like, for example, the hustle and bustle of a place like New York. Some people like that. Others prefer mild climate. So there's certain reasons why people stay in these cities. The example I've seen a lot was people moving from California to Nashville. Everybody I know who's moved from California to Nashville came back within 5 years. And there were a few reasons for that. One is some of these quality of the weather factors, like they didn't know how to handle a tornado or snow or anything like that. Other thing is there are cultural factors. Like if you're somebody from outside the South and you move to the deep South, there might be some mismatches, or the other way around too. Like if you move, say, from, I don't know, rural Mississippi or Kentucky and you move to Chicago, you might feel out of place the reverse way. And so that makes it kind of hard. And despite the higher cost, they switch back. But let's get into the math and the bottom line, because I know you guys like when I get into details on this. So say, for example, you live in California, which is one of the highest cost of living cities, either San Francisco Bay Area or LA or San Diego, versus moving to Dallas or Nashville. Let's just say if you make $100,000 a year, you're gonna save about $5,000 a year in state income tax. But is it worth disrupting your life for that? Probably not. Where let's move up the numbers to $200,000. $200,000 a year, you're gonna be paying about $14,000 in state income tax. Whereas if you move to Texas, you'll pay zero. Is that worth disrupting your life? Maybe. It's marginal, but it's something. Now let's say you get up to $350,000 a year in income. That's $28,000 you're saving in taxes every year. Now it's real money. And let's now just say go to $500,000 a year. You're paying $45,000 to California. Yes, it becomes unambiguous that you are getting way ahead at that point. That's $4,000 a month that could basically finance living expenses in some of these lower cost of living cities. And that's the whole difference. They're just gonna pay to Sacramento. Then you make $1 million a year, you're paying well over 100 grand. And so then it really makes a difference. And now the reason why I say that it really doesn't make a difference until you're saving about $20,000 in taxes, we have to go to the cost of the hidden costs that I mentioned before, and let's try to quantify these. Example, network erosion for your career. That could be, depending on what field you are, it could be zero if you're entirely online work remote person, to $50,000 plus, like if your whole client base is based on you going out to lunch with these people in this city every week. Family proximity, especially if you have children, that can be up to $15,000 to $25,000 a year cost, not living near your family. And that's purely financial, it's not even the emotional considerations to that. Cost of visiting your family, depending on how far you move, that could be anywhere from $2,500 to $10,000 a year, depending on how many people you got to put on a plane or drive to and the distance. And then weather, lifestyle quality loss, which is unquantifiable, but that's a cost. And the last one is the HVAC premium. When you're in places with more extreme climate, you're spending an extra $3,000 to $5,000 a year in heat and air conditioning due to hotter summers and colder winters. And that's not often put in the case of the spreadsheets. So in general, that's about anywhere from $25,000 on the low end to $80,000 on the high end is the cost that you pay for uprooting your life. And really kind of the irony of this whole thing is that the people who would benefit the most financially from moving to lower cost of living cities generally get comfortable in the high cost of living city. Because like a lot of people get uncomfortable because they can't afford a house. But if you're making $500,000 a year, even in California, you can afford a nice house. So the people who, again, they're the ones who would benefit the most financially from moving, and they tend not to, unless if it's the very counter elite, multi-100 million plus class who just buys a second home and says they moved for tax reasons, and then just fly back to wherever they're from whenever they feel like it, as long as they don't go there for more than 5.5 months at a time, of course. So if from a math perspective, it doesn't really make sense for most people to move for purely the cost of living basis. Why do so many people then do move and cite cost of living as the reason? I think there's a lot more underlying real motives for a lot of these moves. First one, I think, is political ideology. A lot of people will move to a place because they want to be around people who vote the same way as them and have a similar worldview. And politics, for many people on both sides of the aisle, has replaced religion as the locus of what they build their value set around. And so as a result, a lot of people want to be around more like-minded people or a community that, even if it's just symbolically based on how they vote on an election, represents what they believe. I think that's the biggest driver. And they'll cite cost of living because it kind of sounds petty to say, I'm moving because I'm tired of too many Republicans or Democrats in my neighborhood. Second thing was climate, which I already mentioned before. And this is why I think if you're moving from a place like the Northeast, like New York, Boston, which I think Boston is the worst deal in America in terms of the highest cost of living for the lowest quality of life because of how cold it is there. It's pretty much the same as living in San Diego in terms of cost of living, but a much worse quality of life, in my opinion. And I love my fans out in Boston, but I got to say the truth on this. But the thing is that for those cities, it makes sense to move to like North Carolina, Florida, Texas, or Tennessee, because you're not only gaining in terms of saving money on taxes and housing costs, but you actually are getting a better climate. Whereas, say, if you're moving from California, you are sacrificing a lot more. The quality of life outside of the disaster that is Sacramento is actually, I think, personally much higher. And so it's a lot of it is where you're moving from versus also as well as whether you're moving or not. So the second is lifestyle type. There are certain people who want a certain lifestyle that is impossible in other places. Like, say if you really like the desert and just that's kind of scene and you just hate the rain, like Arizona will make sense for that reason alone. And or say, for example, you really want a big house with a whole acre around you and you can't see your neighbors. It doesn't matter how rich you are. You're not going to be able to get that in Southern California or New York City. But here in Texas, you can. And you can be fairly close to Dallas. Like, I drove around some pretty fancy compounds earlier this afternoon just to kind of explore the Metroplex, and you can be pretty close to town and have this giant estate that nobody could see your house and you have effectively no neighbors. Can you do that in California? No. Can you do that in New York? No. And that's, I think, also a driver. Some people just prioritize having a lot of space or some other unique lifestyle quirks of a specific region that they cannot get anywhere else. The other thing really too is there's an extreme obsession with homeownership. I did a live stream about this, about why buying a house shouldn't be an end-all be-all goal for people, but some people it is. Like, they don't feel complete, or that they're not a respectable person by a certain age if they don't own a house, and they have to own it before a certain birthday benchmark or before they have a kid or before they get married or whatever it is. And if you're on that kind of crunch, you're going to have to, in order to fulfill that, move to get that result quicker. Like, if you're in the professional class and have a realistic trajectory, you'll eventually be able to afford a house wherever you want to live. But if you need to hit it, say, by 25 or 30, then you might need to move to the cost of living place to hit that benchmark. And I think that's kind of one of the big drivers of this too. And the other thing is there's certain demographic and cultural preferences. Like, for example, like a Californian Republican guy who originally wants to move to the South because of the political reasons may realize he doesn't fit in, or vice versa. Like, you have somebody from Atlanta who wants to move to a cooler place like Chicago because they think it's a more exciting city and are tired of the heat. And they realize they don't fit in there. Maybe they just deep down know that they prefer that other type of culture. And they just say, I think the culture is tacky where I live and I need to leave. That's kind of rude to say to your friends at a lunch or a cocktail party. So they'll use the cost of living as their reasoning, or to get away with certain people they don't like in their social circle. And then the last one, which kind of relates to a lot of this channels themes. They are tired of the visibility of certain negative social externalities, such as high crime, homelessness, general disorder, low social trust, or pearl drift. Like if you live in like a downtown of a place like New York or Seattle or LA or San Francisco, this stuff is in your face a lot more. Whereas if you move to a place that is more space and a lower cost of living area, you don't have to deal with these issues. And it's rude to say, I don't want to be around the degeneracy or the pearl drift or the degeneration of my current city. So instead of say, oh, I think it's a good financial decision, or I like the climate, or some more socially acceptable answer to what is really the case. And then other factors include like pace of life. Some places are faster than others or slower than others. Like New York is fun like for a weekend once in a while, but if I had to live in that every day, it would burn me out because it just moves too fast. Whereas like other places are too slow for people, like Hawaii. Hawaii is a very expensive place. There's a low cost of living, but it's very slow paced. Things take a long time to get done there, and some people just get restless and want to do things and make things happen. So they'll move to Las Vegas, which is considerably cheaper and has more going on. And then the other thing is some people are moving to family, usually in-laws, for example. Like if you marry somebody from a different part of the country, you move to their family and you say, oh, it's because of lower cost of living, but it's actually maybe you need closer to family the other way, not to disappoint your own family in your hometown. And overall, Lily, like I use myself as an example. I moved from one high cost of living city, San Francisco, to another one in Orange County, but I did it more for these quality of life reasons more than a purely money reason, even though I did save some money moving south. But that's the kind of the bottom line here. Overall, unless if you are a very high earner or your career is very, lack of a better term, introverted and not really reliant on you having specific networks, moving to a city just because of cost of living is generally, I think, a bad idea. However, if you have like a real other reason to go, then it could make sense for other economic opportunities. I don't think Dallas's boom, for example, solely driven on cost of living. A lot of businesses are moving here for competitive reasons, and therefore that brings opportunities with it.